Big news day for the Nation Network. Jeff Marek joining the team here, a new show. But does it have that NWO feel? I know you're a wrestling guy. Are you Hogan or what?
That was, first of all, a very cool angle ripped off from New Japan Pro Wrestling from years ago. So I'm more the Masahiro Chono than the Hulk Hogan, Kevin Nash. It's a very hipster wrestling reference from the 90s for your audience right there. I hope I didn't lose too many of your crew. Listen, for the longest time, I've kind of wanted to do something like this. Like the conversations with the Nation Network were pretty simple. It was kind of like, well, what do you want to do? And I sort of like, we all have these wish lists of things that we want to do in our career. So I just kind of shot the works. Like, I want to do this, 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 I want to do this. Like, this is like a dream job profile for me. And they said, okay. And it was like, one of the easiest negotiations that I've ever had. But and I'll tell you, like, that's one of the reasons why the Nation Network was so attractive to me. Is like I get to work with now. Like, you look at the colleagues that I'm going to share. Like, there's established veteran broadcast voices, and there's like future superstars. And there's ex-players that are becoming star broadcasters. C Rosehill, Jay. Like, it is like it's a pretty attractive place to be. Like, it's a really healthy mix of people. And if I can, I know, Nick, you're a big wrestling guy too. If you go to Paul Heyman's Hall of Fame induction speech, he talked a lot about ECW and wanting to, getting up every morning and working with people that live their passion, that get up, and it is just like that job consumes them all day long. And that's the vibe here. And I mean, Nick, Jay, you know me, like, I'm a 24/7 hockey guy. It's ever since I was 6 years old, and my parents would take me to the Hockey Hall of Fame with a little notebook to write down notes. This is all pre-internet. I've just been obsessed and consumed with this game, and it seems like this is, and always has been, like a really great landing spot for someone like me, because there's so many other people that are like this at the Nation Network. It's really impressive.
And your show is going to be called The Sheet. By all accounts, it's a blank sheet for you. What direction do you think you want to take this show in?
Great question. I think it's going to be like a lot of it is going to sort of evolve around the time of day that it goes live. And I think this is out there. I'm not sure if it's on the press release. It's going to be daily at 3:00 Eastern, which is kind of in that zone. Certainly for the East, and out West, you're at noon in the Pacific time region. It's in that zone where you're probably done with last night and you're just starting to look forward to the evening. So it gives you a really interesting pocket, not just to talk about the daily comings and goings of what's happening in the NHL or in hockey, but also gives you a chance just to tell stories and to have fun. We're right now in the process of just, confirming some co-hosts for the program. And some reoccurring guests as well. Essentially, I want it to be a combination of, the urgency of news every day and the urgency of what's happening. Like, a lot of it is going to be a snapshot of what the conversation is in hockey at this moment. But the idea, and I was talking to my producer about this a couple of days ago, the idea is you try to take every big moment that's happened in hockey in the last 24 hours and you do sort of a 360 view of it. For all you people that like pretentious Japanese movies, this was ripped off from a movie called Rashomon by Akira Kurosawa. You take the one event and you have all the different perspectives on it, and then you layer yours on top. It's a very pretentious way of describing a hockey show, Jay, but there it is.
Hey, you got the knowledge of it all. Put it together. I like it.
Yeah. If you're the lesson that I've learned is, if you're not sure of something, Jay, say it loud.
How does it feel to be back, Marek?
It's awesome. It's part of me wanted to take, part of me wanted to take like a lot of time off. Like, I don't want to take a year off. And then said to myself, I'm still like, I still like the grind. Like, I still miss it. Like, I've set my body clock, like you guys have, that, okay, September rolls around, I got to start to pay attention to what's happening at training camps. And you sort of set the rhythm of your life based on a hockey schedule. And so I felt really out of sync. I'll be honest with you. Like, I felt really out of sorts as, August bled into September, bled into October. And I'm still following, I'm still reading, I'm still talking to people on a consistent basis. But I had nowhere to blather. and now I've found a place to blather on a consistent basis. So it feels amazing to be back. And I do have to say one thing. Like, I don't know why, Nick, but for whatever reason, hockey social media, specifically hockey Twitter, has always been really kind to me. And that when I started putting those teaser videos, like the reaction was great. So whether it's, hockey Twitter X, whether it's, Reddit, has always been great to me. Like, I know that Twitter's kind of turned into what Twitter's turned into, but the hockey community on there has always been really good to me, and that really meant the world to me.
Well, we'd be remiss if we had you on this show and didn't pick your brain a little bit about the Toronto Maple Leafs. But just a general overview of what you've seen so far from training camp up until this point of the season from this group.
Anthony Stolarz, Anthony Stolarz, Anthony Stolarz, Anthony Stolarz, with a side dash of Max Domi toe drags. It's interesting. There are some teams, for the longest time, like from about 2009 to 2012, I suppose the answer was the Vancouver Canucks. But you know what it's like. Like, every year, there are some teams where not the regular season doesn't mean anything, but there's no answers in the regular season. Like, all the answers are in the playoffs, and that's it. There's the Wepton Wharf of the everyday comings and goings of the team. This guy's injured and mixing up this. They got a 3-game losing streak. But the thing about the Maple Leafs, like, again, we've said it countless times, all the answers are in the postseason. The regular season, we're going to cover it and we're going to have fun and it's going to be interesting and there's going to be stories and the drama is going to rise and fall. It's going to be like this, Maple Leaf symphony that it is every year. But really, all the answers are in the postseason. So, Matthews snapped 65. Okay. Mitch Marner has a 110-point season. Okay. William Nylander hits 40. Okay. Like, I don't want to downplay any of that, but aren't all the answers just in the playoffs? Like, there's only a handful of teams every year that are like this, but more so than ever, top of that list has got to be the Maple Leafs.
Yeah, Rosie hates it when I bring it up, but I always say wait to the playoffs, right, Rosie?
Well, it's true. A prime example is the Bruins having a NHL record-breaking season in the regular season, and it's just incredible. You don't get the job done in the playoffs. Does anyone remember or care or even talk about it? Absolutely not.
No, because that year the Montreal Canadiens, they only lost like 8 games. They set the record that Boston broke. Like, they won the Stanley Cup, and that's why we still talk about that team in sort of glowing terms. You're right. Like, we've quickly forgotten about that record-breaking season by the Boston Bruins because they flamed out against the Florida Panthers. If Bobrovsky doesn't make that right pad save of Brad Marchand, you wonder how different things are. And maybe we're talking about them as one of the greatest teams ever, but Bobrovsky made that save, and the Florida Panthers went on to win that series. But I at the same time, I will say this: 82 games is long. And 82 games is hard. I mean, Jay, you know what it's like on your body physically. You know what it's like on your brain mentally. Like, I don't know that we put enough stock, and I know the game changes in the playoffs and all the hits are for keeps and everybody does it and it's a battle of attrition, but I don't know that we put enough stock in the President's Trophy. Like, coming first overall after 82 games, we sort of shrug it off. But I don't know how players feel about this, Jay, but that's a major accomplishment. Like, how players always go, I'm always amazed when I talk about players. One of the first things they always talk about when it comes to an individual player is how many games that guy played. Do players put a lot of stock in finishing first in the regular season? Because I think it's a really impressive thing to do. I really do.
There's no question it's a difficult process. And when you look at the grind of that 82-game season, like you say, it is a big deal. But to the team, you're just trying to find that feeling of being so together on the same page that you feel like you can walk into the playoffs and make a run at the big deal. So to win a President's Trophy or something, I've never done that, but it's a feather in your cap. It's validation of, hey, we're on the right path. But then it's just excitement of, okay, like that's a feather in your cap. That's great. That means something. But now that shows that we're ready to hopefully do it. And like we've said in the past, if a team does that and then falls short in the playoffs, it was all for nothing. So there's nothing really to. I mean, you get a trophy, they don't even want to touch it. It would be nice. If
I hate that.
It is
I
kind
hate
of funny.
that.
Like, go party with it or something.
They'll put on the hats that say conference champion. Woo, no problem. Ooh, but touch the trophy. Whoa, 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 whoa. Back up there, big boy.
I agree. I wish it was more of a celebration to say something, but from the team's perspective, it's like, yeah, that's great. It means we're on the same page, but they know as well as we do, it's all going to be forgotten if they don't get the job done in the next portion.
Yeah, fair.
Make sure to check out more of our content right here on the Leafs Nation YouTube page. We got long form interviews, we got clips, we got epic rants by Jay Rosehill. We simply have it all. And don't forget, you can find out much more at theleafsnation.com. Thanks so much for watching.